Hello, Phil here from Wings of Pegasus, and welcome to another analysis video. I want to start this video by saying a big thank you to everyone who's been watching these videos and giving them thumbs up and subscribing. If you like these videos and you'd like to help me continue to make them, please consider heading over to my Patreon page, which is patreon.com/Wings of Pegasus. That's the reason that all of this is possible, the amazing support of my patrons over there who have supported me with my own music and making covers on YouTube and these videos. Yeah, they've made this possible as well. So massive thank you to them. If you want to join me over on Patreon, I'll just put the link up again. That's the website that you need to head to. But anyway, let's get into the analysis video for tonight. We're going to be having a look at Stevie Ray Vaughan again, and this is now his version of Voodoo Child. I did his cover of Little Wing, which I said was the best cover of a Jimi Hendrix song that I've ever seen, but this one is certainly a close second, if not a first. It depends kind of what you're into, but I'm going to have a little look at this version that Stevie did and see how it stacks up with the Little Wing version that I did a previous video on. So let's see how Stevie gets on. Already just 50 seconds into the song, and the intro is absolutely nailed. And he's actually put a little slide in the intro as well that isn't originally in there, but it sounds really cool when he's putting that in there. And the amazing thing about Stevie, again, exactly the same as the cover that he did of Little Wing, is that he's still got the personality, the feel of the track, but he's still playing it in the way that he plays it. It's really difficult to explain because it's so difficult to do that, and it's almost impossible to put your finger on how he does it. He's still keeping the original sound, and this is quite up-tempo in terms of, you know, the tempo's been increased from the original, so it certainly is Stevie's own version, but he's still staying really, really authentic to the original track. And even with the way that you'll see him change this tone, he really kind of mirrors exactly what Jimmy used to do and the sound that Jimmy used to get. So already it's really impressive. And again, there's a little example there how he just flicked down before the beginning of this little section, just flicked down that tone just to take the top end off the lead tone. And it's those really subtle things that if you blink, you'll miss it, because he's that good at editing his tone and his dynamics and the way that he plays. It's just literally, you know, a blink of an eye and he's changed his tone on his guitar. So yeah, really impressive stuff so far.
Standing next to
And again, really great lines he's playing here that are really authentic to the original. But without kind of ruining it, he's kind of almost embellishing lines that Jimmy used to play. But a lot of players, when they cover Hendrix, it sounds nothing like Hendrix because they just say, right, I'm going to do a cover and I'm going to do it in my own style. And every guitarist can play in their own style. That's the easiest thing for any guitarist to do, is to play the way that they play. The hardest thing a guitarist can do is play the way they play and the way somebody else played originally. And it's hard to explain, but Stevie somehow does this. You're listening to it and you know it's Stevie from the way that he's playing, but it's kind of like Hendrix is in the background, kind of telling him what to do, and he's kind of playing it himself. He's kind of channeling Hendrix somehow. So, I mean, the ability of Stevie always impresses me, and I've been watching him for probably about 20 years now, and it always impresses me watching him play, especially live, because this is so good for live. He's absolutely nailing everything, and this is it, like I said, with the tone as well. He's nailing the tone, and you know, just subtle things like just opening the wah pedal just a little bit to get that kind of bright, tinny kind of tone that Hendrix used to play around with as well, and then closing it ever so slightly to get the more muffled tones. So really subtle stuff going on here that might go under the radar for people that don't play guitar, but then when you do play the guitar, you can start to really appreciate the amount of work that has gone into this and just Stevie's overall ability. We'll watch a little bit more. I'm going to put the link to this in the description below because obviously you've got to watch the whole video, but I'm just going to play a little bit more of this just because I like watching it. Another thing to note is notice how reserved Stevie's playing, and that's how he keeps that original feel of Jimmy's version, or at least when Jimmy kind of played it himself. He never went off mindlessly shredding, and you'll see here that Stevie, as soon as he's played that really fast line, he then goes back to slower mid-tempo playing, really melodic, and back into the rhythm side of playing. So he's got such an appreciation of the soul of the track and the feel of the track that he's really dialed in to play just exactly how I would say a Jimi Hendrix cover should be played. It's like a nod to the original and somehow putting your own stamp on it, but it's so difficult to do that. And even if you go back to the beginning of this track, when he's just hitting the open strings but muting them all and using that kind of wah-wah sound, or at least what Jimi Hendrix used to do, you can hear the weight of the strings. It's almost like you know, steel wire, you know, that's like 3 millimeters thick because it's so heavy. But yeah, have a little listen to that at the beginning of the track because it's kind of interesting just to hear the weight of the strings when he's playing. But yeah, a real legend. Stevie always impresses with any video, certainly that I've seen of him. But this is definitely up there with Little Wing. I think probably a joint first in terms of the best cover that I've seen played by any guitarist of Jimi Hendrix. So really impressive stuff. Thanks for suggesting that I watch this video, and keep those suggestions coming in the comments below. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe, and I'll see you guys at the next one. Rock!